Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to my weekly Scripture for Thought video show in my apartment room in Allerton Avenue, part of the Bronx, where everybody works hard. And try to hustle in a smart way, and try to invest their money in a more lucrative way, so they can have a great down payment for a lifetime. Now, my sermon topic that I'm going to preach to you about is make every effort to enter the way of heaven when you have enough opportunity, when you can. Now you heard the old saying goes, enter through the narrow gate, the wide and broad is the destruction, and many leads to it, and few and a narrow is the gate, and only a few find it. Here's one example of make every effort to enter to the way of make every effort to enter the way of heaven when you can, is Jacob. Of course, Jacob lied to his father, Isaac, to get Esau's inheritance, and of course Esau wanted to kill him because he got tired of Jacob to hustle him out his birthright and his inheritance as the oldest son. There's one part of the Bible in the book of Genesis where one day when Jacob and his flocks he was away from his wives and his flocks, that he fell asleep, and then God gave him a vision in a dream about stairways to heaven. That's one good and in the future he's mentioned about the men in faith in Hebrews 11:1 and beyond in Hebrews 11. That's one example of make every effort to enter the way of heaven as much as you can. Another example is Nathaniel. Nathaniel was one of Philip's and Peter's friends. Nathaniel said, then one day Jesus came to Nathaniel and said, now there's one proof, there's nothing false in this Israelite. Then Nathaniel said, how do you know that? How you know about me? Well, when you was under the fig tree, I saw you. And Jesus said to Nathaniel, as you can see, you see the angels ascending of me, the Son of Man. And in the future, Nathaniel went to heaven in the future. And part 3 of make every effort to enter the way of heaven as much as you can is the third example is well, as I was saying, when I get to the point of part 3, that whenever God sends people in your path to extend the hand to you, always make sure that you take the right hand, take the hand to have the person to take the tracks to go to church as much as you can. And now the third example is Elijah. Of course, Elijah was sin, and he had a lot of problems and stuff, had his faith tested by people that want to kill him, and then God protected him all the way. And then all of a sudden, when he had his apprentice as Elijah, as a leader, as his apprentice Elijah, then a big fireworks tornado just opened up of heaven, and he fell right into the fireworks volcano that was held up. He was safe. It was taken into heaven. And then when Jesus in the future, when Jesus went up to the majestic mountain with John Peter and James, then Elijah's spirit with Moses' spirit talked to Jesus about the departure he had will bring redemption to the people of Israel and the rest of the world. That's another example of make every effort to enter the way of heaven as much as you can. And the last example is Barnabas, Bartimaeus, the blind man in the book of Mark. Of course, Jesus did miraculous signs and stuff, but when Bartimaeus, the blind man, heard that Jesus was come, he said, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." All the people that was helping Jesus, that was paving the way for Jesus, said, "Hush up, be quiet, hush up, be quiet." But he yelled all the more, "Jesus, Son of David, have mercy on me." Then in an instant, Jesus stopped and turned to the man, and he said, and then the people near him that was telling him to hush up said, "Stand up your fear, cheer up, be a good cheer. Jesus is approaching you." And then Jesus asked him, What do you want me to do for you?" Then Bartimaeus said, "Lord, I want to see." And then all of a sudden, Jesus put his finger on his head and said, "According to your faith, you will be able to see." And then Bartimaeus, he becoming to see. At first he see things were like trees. Then he see clearly, he see Jesus. Then he followed Jesus. And the other people followed, and the people had him to follow Jesus near him. And in the future, as you already have figured out, that Bartimaeus went up into heaven within the glory of Jesus, and Jesus the King of righteousness, and the Prince of righteousness, and the Son of God, that he stand on the right hand of God. I tell you, men, women, teenage boys, teenage girls, middle-aged men, middle-aged women, old men and old women, I tell you, wherever you see an opportunity of you to take a chance to go to the way of heaven, do not procrastinate. Do not make time. Do not make time. Do not make time. Do not stagger. Whenever the open door of you going to heaven, even going to church or reading the Bible or going to Bible studies or doing great things by listening to the church people that tell you the way of God, go into the way of God. Go into the way of God when they give you an open door for you to go into the steps to heaven. Now this is the conclusion of make every effort to go into the way of heaven as much as you can. Now, as for in my apartment room in Allerton Avenue, as for my weekly Scripture for Thought video show, I'm your host and most preacher Anthony Israel saying, bye bye so long. Other than that, it's time for a wrap.